right, welcome back to another episode of the TZ podcast. Today we got something a little bit different. We were talking about ideas and we came up on the idea of creation versus evolution. Now we're going to talk about our opinions. Remember that these are opinions and everyone's entitled to their own opinions, but we just wanted to give you guys our thoughts on this pretty interesting topic.
All right, Simon, kick us off.
I guess we'll start off.
Where do we start? Should we start with like what our stances are?
Yeah,
Like
I
each
guess.
of us?
And it's funny because Morgan, my girlfriend, has biology, and that's kind of what they've been going over evolution. And so it's really interesting. And I remember taking what did we take? Biology in 10th grade. Yeah, and we were learning about it, and some of the stuff just seems so crazy to me, like the fact that like whales used to be like land animals and they had like that hip joint or something. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They have
Right,
like that.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, and like
I've never heard
humans have like that thing too, like I think right above their butt or something. There's like a little bone that was there. I think it was some sort of tail like back in the day, but now through
You mean, like, the
evolution, it's just
tailbone?
worthless, you know? Yeah.
my tailbone.
Yeah. Like an actual tail. Like,
You mean so that
There's
came
a
from like a
tail.
whale?
no, not whale.
What? How does link with a whale though?
I don't know. No. This doesn't link with the whale. This links with like a monkey or something, like an ape.
Oh, this is a completely different thing. So we at one point we had tails, is what you're saying?
Yeah. Yep. And then evolution, we're now us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we can just kind of get into this. So, like, do you guys believe in evolution?
I do. Yeah.
Really?
To a
Well,
certain point.
To a certain point. I mean, I guess I could kind of say that, but growing up, I was very religious. So
Right.
I
Okay.
agree with-
Let's explain my point of view first, because I said kind of, so it's not like.
yeah. What do you mean by a certain degree?
So I believe in God. Okay. And I believe that he put the first living thing on earth, and then kind of through that, we kind of evolved into what we are today through like billions and billions of years. I don't know exactly what we're from, if we're either from monkeys, or I heard one that's like we're from fish even. I don't even know, but yeah, something like that. That's kind of what I believe in.
So when you say God, you mean God is depicted in as like the Bible God, or like which God? A God, or
I don't know. It's just a God, like,
okay, so like a higher being.
yeah.
Maybe not specifically like Christianity's God or Muslim or Somalian, you know what I mean?
Yeah, from my point of view,
But,
it's really difficult for me to think that one religion is the right religion. I do strongly believe in that everybody can just believe what they want. But it's hard to think that like Lutherans, that way is the only right way when there's so many religions out there. I just think that's kind of ignorant to think, but I mean, I completely support whoever wants to believe in what they want to believe, so that's just what I believe. It's different for every person, maybe, but it varies. But I mean,
Yeah, Parker, I'm on the very much same boat. I believe in evolution, but I'm also very religious, and I think that you can't distinguish science. Like, you can't just go away from science, because I don't know if you guys know, but there's people who believe that the earth is only like 6,000 years old because that's when the Bible says it was. And I just think that's, in my eyes, just completely wrong, because the creation story in the Bible talks about days before God created the sun. And it's just like, how were there days before how we calculate a day was even there? And I think that those days could have been millions of billions of years. And so that when he created Adam and Eve, that maybe he was like, oh, I'm going to take this animal and I'm going to give it a little more light, a little more spirit. I'm going to make it a little more special.
right.
And maybe that was humans. Like, obviously we don't know the answers, but I just feel like you can't distinguish and like completely disown science. Like, I think it has to very much coexist.
I will
Right.
admit, coming from kind of just like a broad kind of standpoint on it, it is a lot easier to believe evolution opposed to as a religion. You know, just like on a surface standpoint. I mean, which one are you going to believe? You know what I mean? Each person's going to be different, obviously, but personally, at least through my eyes, like I'd much rather, like, you know, science has proved itself over and over and over how many times, you know. And I'm not saying a religion hasn't proved itself. It's just it seems like there's more evidence towards the science side. But then again, it's down to what you believe in and what you look into and all that.
I don't know where to go from here. Like,
yeah, it's
we
tough.
pretty much all kind of agree on the same
Kind of are in the same ballpark, but it's interesting because I went from growing up in Vietnam for a short period of my life. I was raised Buddhist, mainly in the Buddhist ways, because that's like Christianity over in Vietnam. You know, like there was Christianity and there was churches, but it just wasn't as popular. And most people over there that you meet, 90% of them are Buddhist.
Right.
So growing up, I was very young, so I didn't really get the grasp of it too much, and I didn't get too into it. But I definitely could say I was influenced. And coming to the States and kind of realizing, like, I was kind of starting to lose my Buddhist roots and sway towards more Christianity. And it's really weird to see, like, just the culture change of, you know, across an ocean, like what exactly how they view it. And some stuff overlaps, some stuff don't. Like it's really crazy just to think, like, just across the pond they think of completely different stuff, and around the world, you know,
Right.
you know, everyone thinks different.
Little it's still on topic, but it's a thought I've had that I don't know that many people have thought of, but churches in the end of the day are businesses. So I feel like religions could have began as a way, like way back in the day, as a way to kind of control people in the masses, to believe a certain thing and avoid mass chaos and like murder and stuff. It was a way to control and have a lot of people believe in the same thing. And churches are businesses. They need to make money at the end of the day too, to stay open and stuff. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that thought of like churches and religion?
Of
Where
them being businesses?
being well, businesses in a way of kind of controlling people.
Yeah, definitely. I think, you know, I think it's important to find a church that you believe in, and like they call it a faith doctrine that you relate with, because you don't want to be going to a church where they're shoving stuff down your throat that you don't believe, or they're brainwashing you. And that's why I encourage everyone to make their religion their own, and don't just follow what people tell you, because I really do think that there are churches out there that want you for money and will tell you what to do so they can either make more money or grow in businesses or what like that. Like you think of the Roman Empire, they were so-called religious and they crucified Jesus just because they didn't like his teaching and they were taken away from his teaching. So I definitely feel like, yeah, you do have a really good point there. And it's just, I don't know, it's hard to be honest and true nowadays when everything is surrounded by money.
Right. I think that's a good lesson just to take away too. That really money is power, but at the end of the day, you still need to stay true to yourself and your roots and stuff and not let that take over. And
Yeah, because I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I think, for me personally, like church is obviously a big part of my life, and I go and I enjoy it. I volunteered. Morgan and I volunteered this morning to watch some kids during the church service, and I enjoy with that. I enjoy doing that. Like I feel like I grow as a person. We grow in our relationship with each other and with God, and I think that's a great way to do it. But also, I think there are people who aren't necessarily growing with God; they're just growing with the church, if that makes sense. They're not growing in any other relationship besides the church and the things that they want them to learn. And so, yeah, I get that churches can be controlling, and I don't know, for people who maybe don't go to church as much, they could see that as like concerning.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I'd definitely be worried if like I was, you know, trying to just get into a new religion or trying to get closer or whatever the case may be. And I kind of just like still trying to figure out a church and, you know, you kind of get influenced by one of them that has completely different separate ways, which is crazy to think, even like down to this, like it kind of correlates back to what I was saying, like how the cultures are different, but even here, you could see slight differences too in Catholicism, or being Catholic and being Lutheran, opposed to, like even slight variations like that.
Yeah, definitely a lot of differences, but
yeah, that's just, you kind of have to, it's one of those things where you kind of just have to like figure it out yourself and find your own groove for it,
Yeah. No, but back to that kind of main argument of evolution versus creation, and my beliefs, I really think that they should coincide and really work together. I'm a believer of that. Science should go with religion. They should go hand in hand and help each other in different aspects. And so that's kind of just where I stand on that. And I don't know. It's definitely really interesting and really hard thing to wrap your head around, because obviously we're never going to wrap our head around it. It's just like we'll never wrap around how big the universe is or what space is like, just because we're never going to experience anything like that. But I think it's just kind of cool to imagine or think and play out our own scenarios in our head like we're a kid again.
Right. And what's interesting too is I love to get into deep talks and really ask people to like what they think is like once they die, what do you think is on the other side? It's really interesting to listen to what other people have to say. So let's talk about that. When you die, what do you think is on the other side?
That's a good question.
I mean, in all honesty, I think it might be up to the individual.
Mm-hmm. And like what your belief systems were, or
well, I'm a wholehearted believer in the God of Christianity, and Jesus. But I also believe that pretty much all religions worship the same God, whether or not that they know that, or maybe I believe they just do it in different practices. So the Muslim or Islam, Judaism, and Christianity all kind of worship. They're all Abraham's faiths. So technically, I believe that they all worship the same God. We just do it different ways. And so I think when we die, I think it is up to the individual. And so maybe someone who's Muslim will see Muhammad and Jesus, because I think you have to see Jesus, because I feel Jesus is a very important part. But maybe they'll see Muhammad too. And for me, maybe I'll just see Jesus. And even for a non-believer, I think that they die and they'll go, Jesus will be like, "Oh, I love you," and they'll be like, "Oh crap, you're real? Yep, that's okay." And just like, I don't know, it's just every single person has their own different beliefs on it, and that's kind of just mine. Like, no matter, I think it's going to be the individual, and it'll be kind of their interpretation of life, and that's kind of how it's going to be.
Yeah, what's crazy to think is just like how long eternity is. And like, so do you respawn as a human again and like you don't know, or like you respawn, or like what happens, or what were you I forget, but what were you before you right now,
this life,
like
your past life? What was your past life and what's your next life?
Right. It's just so weird to think about. Okay, and I think when you die you figure all that out. And like,
so do you believe in past lives?
Dude, I don't know. I it's so hard to think. I feel like our human brains can't comprehend like any of that.
Yeah.
So it's hard to know.
I agree. I don't believe in past lives. I just don't think that's like for me, I just don't see how that would happen, because I feel like, like humans are so sophisticated, like we have our own soul or spirit or whatever you like to believe. That's kind of what I believe. I just feel like it'd be like taking like a human imprint and DNA in a computer and just like uploading it to another one.
Or are we living in a simulation?
Okay, well, have you heard the conspiracy about like birthmarks? So like supposedly like your birthmark is where like it was left from your past life, and it was like damage caused from your past life in some way. Either that's how you died or had you this or that. But like I don't know. Like, I mean, you never know. Like, you can't, you know what I mean? And it's
Mhm.
like the whole simulation thing. It goes back to that. Like, what if we are in a simulation too?
Right.
All right. Birthmarks generally result from an overgrowth of structure that is normally present in the skin. For example, an overgrowth of blood vessels produce vascular birthmarks or hemoglobins. An overgrowth of pigment cells produced. So I'm gonna have to go that science debunks that creation side of that.
Okay, believe what you want, you know, to each their own, but
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that
it's just
stuff
a theory
to me is
floating
more
around.
out there.
But I mean,
Oh,
that,
question.
You know, like,
I have a for real. Okay. So I saw this thing that I think every guy is manufactured the exact same because we all have this. I
which
think it's
one?
this mole. No, this mole right here on our arms. Every
Which
single
one?
on their left
Left?
arm, you have this mole. Every boy.
I don't have that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Cyan has it. I have it.
I don't think I have that. I gotta
Bet,
unbutton
you
my
gotta look.
panel here. Left
Okay,
arm?
you gotta look. It's for science. We're
My
all
left arm?
manufactured.
Bro, I have
left arm.
moles all over my
All right.
arm.
Yeah,
Here's the reveal.
it's in the exact spot though.
I swear I don't have it. I think I've looked before, but here's the reveal. There's no mole. Like, I don't
There's-
have a.
Like right here.
Right
There's
where?
no
Right
mole.
on the bend? No, there's. I'm clean, bro.
Not right on the bend, but right below it. There's none.
Yeah. Like, do you not see it?
Well,
There's nothing. I'm clean. Debunked.
Debunked.
Look at
well,
that.
okay.
I'm just saying, I don't have the mole. I remember seeing that on like TikTok or something, and I was like, oh, I don't have the mole. Maybe I'm a weird one.
Should we become Mythbusters 2.0?
I mean, like, I just.
Was it just
I
like
don't-
some race thing though? Like all
Oh,
white males
like
have
what?
that.
Wow. Okay.
The mole. I don't know. I mean, it.
Well, I don't have it. I know that.
Okay.
On my left arm, it's clean. Sorry, I don't have like moles. You guys have like hello moles?
I got some on my arms and stuff, you know, and like
I
my
don't,
chest.
I don't have
and-
moles. I don't think I have moles.
Hmm.
I mean, I have a
Oh.
birthmark on my hand. Oh, never mind. I got a mole on my ring finger. You guys got?
Yeah,
that?
every boy. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Don't have that.
No.
That's really disappointing. I was really hoping we all had that.
What about like isn't there like a vein thing that all guys have too?
Well, all
Or
guys have
that?
what?
There's
Oh,
like a
guys have veins.
there's like,
That's
no
basic
not that.
human infrastructure.
I thought there was like some vein that pops out or something like all guys got it or something to do with veins. Like I can look it up, I guess.
Oh man.
Well, some guys are more veiny than the others. Like, you know, when you get a big pump going, some are like,
Well, yeah, I know, but it's like
crazy
there's
mad.
something like with the wrist or something like it's like something in here, something
Well,
I don't know, not ringing a bell.
You're talking about it's a tendon. You're talking
Yeah.
about
Right, like that thing.
that.
Yeah, like, right here.
bro, I feel like Spider-Man right now trying to get this.
Like
Some people don't have that tendon.
yeah, that's.
Yo. You can't see.
But you have it.
I think so.
Oh
I
man.
got two.
All right.
Three.
Well,
Maybe we're just
should
all
we transition
criminal.
into our other topic?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, so the other topic was the worst piece of advice that we've ever received, and this is my hot take on that. And that
Here,
is-
wait, hold up. Before even you get into it, mine's a little tamer, so I think I should go first.
Okay.
'Cause mine's pretty lame. I'm gonna be honest with you. But worst piece of advice I've ever gotten was from my father, which is very ironic because I think
Thanks,
he's very
father.
humble. I think he's a very humble man, and he teaches me invaluable information that I need to know in my life. But I remember,
Besides
and
this one.
I'm sure you guys have gotten told this too. But it's when we were around 15, 16, when we were getting our licenses and permits. I'm pretty sure you've heard more than once to drive offensively. And I think that is the most baloney.
I
Wait.
think no. I think you got it
Ever.
mixed up. It's drive defense.
defensively.
I've heard drive offensively.
It's
I've
drive
never heard-
defensive.
Oh, yeah.
Offensively, like you're. like,
No, like you gotta like in big cities and stuff, like you gotta like drive with confidence. Like
okay,
you know what I
heard
mean?
drive defensively. Like
No,
Yeah, I heard
no,
drive
everybody
defense-
else is
I've
gonna
heard
kill you.
drive offensively, and I think that is
Alright,
the
you're
worst
just an
piece of
anomaly
information.
there.
Maybe I'm just the wrong, like the lemon in the group, like my bad, but I've heard that I swear.
Well, you got to
countless-
drive defensively, but with confidence.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know?
okay. I guess. Yeah. Oh, obviously, but like in like big cities and stuff, when you're on the highways and intersections and stuff, like you just gotta like when you're taking exits, you just gotta like not, second guess it and just
You
do
got
it.
a full send.
To a degree. Like you just have to like go in with confidence and
I
just
think
go.
you heard your father wrong.
I swear. Maybe this is like a Mandela effect thing. Like over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
But I swear, and that is the worst piece of advice I have ever heard.
Okay. All right, Simon, you can go here.
All right, my hot take is the golden rule.
Okay.
Really?
Explain yourself.
Feelers, how you would want to be treated. And I think that's a terrible rule because I feel that we are all individuals and we all have our own preferences. And I feel like a lot of us want to be treated, like everyone wants to be treated with kindness and compassion. But like, let's say you're a kid and you love cars and this other kid is right next to you and you're going to try to like, he's feeling bad and you try to give him a car. You don't know his situation. Maybe he like absolutely despises cars or something bad happened with cars. Like, I don't know, you got to treat others how they would want to be treated. I think the word needs to be changed that you want to treat others how they want to be treated.
I thought the point of that was more to like, I mean, like if everybody treats everyone good, then we wouldn't have a problem type deal, right? Because isn't that what it like trying to like teach?
Can we all agree that there's some a-holes in the world, right?
Like in society, like in practice, it's never gonna work, is what I'm saying. Because like everyone's different and everyone's independent.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
Because like I just feel like it sets the mindset of like, what do I want in life, and like it doesn't feel compassion for them first. You're thinking of yourself first instead of others. I don't know. That's just my little hot take on it.
Right. And there's also the side, I think you might have touched on it, but of like everybody has a different description of what like nice is. So like just to be nice, it varies depending on person to person. Like some people want to be more of a hard ass, but it's still nice. Or people just want to like, sorry, thank you. Like no issues whatsoever. It just depends on people really. And it's kind of a touchy or like a gray area there. All right, let's talk about mine here. My worst piece of advice was never give up. So I think there should be times when you need to give up and try something else. I think the definition of psychotic.
Yeah, so like the insanity is trying the same thing over and over, expecting a different outcome.
I think those kind of go hand in hand, and you just need to be. It's case by case. You can't try something over and over again and expect it to work if it continuously doesn't. And so to an extent, I believe in never give up, but a lot of the times never give up can actually hurt somebody. So don't take that.
I feel like
so you need to know your limits.
Right.
so this is my standpoint on it. Like never get up needs to be taught, like, to never give up in life. But let's say you're getting your crap beat up in a fight. Obviously you need to give up and start over. But that doesn't mean that since you're giving up, you're looking at it a different way, you're approaching a different angle. And I think maybe that's what you're getting at too. Like keep trying. You always want to keep trying, but there's different ways that you can try. And just because you fail doesn't mean like you can't succeed. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like,
yep.
Never give up is almost like this hostile thing of you can't fail.
Yeah.
Or like you don't allow the fear of failure.
Yeah. It's like, if something doesn't work, never give up and keep going for it. At some point, you need to stop and kind of reevaluate what you're actually doing and maybe try it from a different angle. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So don't give up on stuff you're passionate about, but be reasonable. Like know your limits about it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for making it this far, listening to the TZ podcast. Just a quick reminder that these are all our opinions, and you guys are encouraged to think about these topics and inform your own opinions. And if you'd like to give us some feedback or let us know what you guys think, that would always be welcomed. You can always shoot us a DM on Instagram or maybe text one of us personally. But again, thank you for listening to our thoughts and topics on these ideas that we come up with.